In the heat of battle, Guardian, you will know the right choice. Wait, sorry, didn't see you all there. I'm just currently sitting here brushing up on my Mountaintop knowledge. As you all know, it is my favorite gun in all of Destiny. I cannot wait to take it into Beyond Light and start decimating everything in my path. Wait a second, I'm getting a call. Hang on a second. Where's my phone? Hello? Yes? Oh, Bungie, how you doing? How's my favorite game developers doing? Yeah, I'm just sitting here, chilling and, admiring my glorious Mountaintop that I cannot wait to take into Beyond Light with me. Wait, what? It's getting sunsetted? Capri-sunned? Sunset? Wait, what's that? Oh, I'm not gonna be able to infuse it up to a higher power level after the new expansion in September, okay? Well, that's no problem. I still got my Recluse. Yeah, 20,000 kills down the drain on my Mountaintop. Recluse is right up there with it, 17,000. Wait, you're telling me that that's gonna be Capri Sun 2? Sunset, whatever you're calling it? Oh, so now, so I guess all those kills mean nothing to you. Almost a combined 40,000. That just means nothing to you. All right, boys, I guess today we're gonna be looking for a new Mountaintop and Recluse replacement. So if you all are looking for a replacement, I got you today. If y'all are looking for something that can potentially replace your Mountaintop or Recluse, Mountaintop 2.0, Recluse 2.0, we're gonna be discussing that in today's video. But real quick, you know the drill. If you're new and only if you enjoy the videos, then feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Also, twitch.tv/myfi__ at the end is where I stream. I do raid help, pinnacle help. If you want to go over there, hit your boy with a follow. I'd also appreciate it. All right, boys, let's get into the video. So for the past week or so, I have noticed a massive surge of people starting to scramble looking for the next Mountaintop or the next Recluse, Mountaintop 2.0 or Recluse 2.0, if you will, because as we all know, come the release of Beyond Light, these two weapons will be sunset. And for anyone that doesn't know what that means, well, it means you will no longer be able to infuse those said weapons up to the current power level. So naturally, I wanted to start testing out some new weapons that share some similarities with Mountaintop and Recluse to see if there really is a Mountaintop 2.0 or Recluse 2.0. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and say is that all of this is subject to change, and honestly, I hope it does. What I am doing today is giving you all weapons that are available right now that could potentially replace Mountaintop and Recluse. But, and this is a pretty big but, we don't know what guns Beyond Light is going to have. And there could literally be a gun called Mountaintop 2.0 or Recluse 2.0. I highly doubt that will happen, but Bungie has done some pretty questionable things in the past, but I digress. These are just weapons that are in the game right now that can act as replacements, but there could be better replacements come Beyond Light. So getting started, first up, we are going to be looking at Mountaintop. Now, I'd bet my bottom dollar that you can already guess what I'm going to mention as its replacement. Truthteller. This is a 90 RPM lightweight frame void special grenade launcher that released this season of Arrivals. Now, because it is a 90 RPM lightweight frame, that makes it almost an exact Mountaintop clone, except for one problem, and that's that it sits in the energy slot and not the kinetic slot like the Mountaintop. Also, I would like to mention that the weapon stats between the weapons are different, but just ever so slightly. Just thought you all should know that. Now, if we take a look at the perks, we find hard launch and volatile launch in column 1, just like on Mountaintop, but there are some other good perks on Truthteller for column 1. If you want more focus on DPS, then I would recommend going with something that increases velocity. But if you want to be more ad clear focused, then blast radius is what you're gonna want. Then for column 2, we find spike grenades, just like the Mountaintop, but no sticky grenades. But to be honest, who actually use sticky grenades on Mountaintop? Now, some other perks in column 2 on Truthteller that I would recommend is blinding grenades for its insane ad control ability, or proximity grenades for that ease of use. Then getting into column 3, and here we do not have rangefinder like we do on Mountaintop, but we do have some pretty interesting perks. The perks for column 3 that I would recommend would pretty much be all of them, except for Underdog. That perk can go in the trash. Getting back to the perks, I would recommend though, auto-loading holster for its ability to stow the grenade launcher and have it instantly reload. Now on a grenade launcher that holds only one grenade, it's not going to be as useful as it would be on something like a heavy grenade launcher that can hold up to 6 grenades at once. Field prep for increased ammo reserves and faster reload speed when crouching. Feeding Frenzy for faster reload speeds after you get a kill, the reload speed getting faster the more kills you get. Then finally, Grave Robber, which will auto-load the weapon on melee kill. Then getting into column 4, where on the mountaintop we find the special pinnacle perk, Micro Missile, which makes the weapon fire grenades in a literal straight line and also greatly increases velocity speed. Now looking at the perks on Truthteller in column 4, because there definitely isn't Micro Missile, we have Demolitionist, which grants grenade energy on weapon kill and also reloads the weapon whenever a grenade is thrown. Disruption Break, which when breaking an enemy's shield with this weapon makes the enemy more vulnerable to kinetic weapon damage for a short period of time. Multi-kill clip, which as we all know increases weapon damage after getting a kill then reloading. The more kills you get before reloading, the more effective the perk becomes. Swashbuckler, which increases damage the more kills you get, stacking up to ×5. Getting a melee kill will instantly grant Swashbuckler ×5. Then Quick Draw, which normally I love, but for a weapon like this, I would not recommend. Now, the God Roll for Truthteller, and there are a few. First up is Feeding Frenzy and Multi-Kill Clip for the ultimate ad control, and if you pair these perks with something like Blinding Grenades in column 2, then it takes it up a notch further. Another good perk combination is Grave Robber and Demo, which is going to enable you to effectively never have to reload because getting a melee or throwing a nade will auto-load the weapon. Then finally, auto-loading holster and Disruption Break. Disruption Break for the ability to break a shield, then instantly switch to a hard-hitting kinetic weapon and have Truthteller auto-load in your back pocket thanks to auto-loading holster. All around, this grenade launcher is the closest thing you're going to get to a Mountaintop replacement that we have in the game right now. The only problem is that Mountaintop is beneficial on both ad clear and boss DPS, where Truthteller is really only viable when used for ad clearing and falls short in terms of doing boss damage or boss DPS. But let me know what you think. Now, let's talk about the Recluse. And once again, I'm gonna bet my second bottom dollar that you can probably take a guess at the first weapon here that I am going to recommend. Death Adder. This is a 900 RPM solar submachine gun that came out this season of Arrivals. Now, when comparing this weapon to the Recluse, first up, they look identical. Next up, the Recluse does void damage, whereas the Death Adder does solar. And finally, the biggest difference, the Recluse holds 36 rounds in the mag and Death Adder holds 37. Yes, that is the big one. Also, and this one's kind of important, when it comes to weapon stats, Recluse outdoes Death Adder in every category except for magazine size, but with a few good perks on Death Adder, it can make up the difference and then some. Now, getting on to the perks that you should be looking for on Death Adder. In column 1, if you are on keyboard and mouse, you are going to want full bore for that massive increase to range. Yes, full bore lowers stability and handling, but on M&K, stability isn't a problem, and this isn't a weapon that relies a lot on handling like a shotgun would. Now, if you are on a controller, then you have a few different options you can choose from depending on what you want. If you want some range with some stability, then small bore or corkscrew rifling will get you right. Now, if you just want stability, then polygonal rifling will definitely be your go-to as it adds just stability with no negative drawbacks. Then getting into column 2, if you're on mouse and keyboard, then I would recommend going with something like accurized rounds for added range. But for my controller players out there that suffer with controlling these high rate of fire subs, I would say steady rounds. I know, it sounds crazy. myfi recommending steady rounds, but I'm serious. Death Adder kicks hard, and if you can't land shots when it kicks, then what is even the point of using it? Now, if the drawback to range that steady rounds has isn't your thing and you feel like you don't need the stability increase, then you can't go wrong with just about any other perk in this column. Now, getting onto column 3, here, if you are trying to mimic Recluse, then you can just slap on Feeding Frenzy and call it a day. But if you're willing to try out some different perks, then something like Subsistence or Dynamic Sway Reduction are both great perks. Subsistence for its ability to partially reload the weapon on kill, and Dynamic Sway Reduction for all you people out there that just love to hold down the trigger and let your guns bang, but you don't want the recoil going off your screen and hitting the wall behind your TV or monitor. Now, getting into column 4, and sadly, there is no Master of Arms like on Recluse, but you probably already knew that. This column, in my opinion, is kind of a letdown due to there being a no damage perk to be found here, but there are still some other good perks worth taking a look at. I recommend these 3 perks. Dragonfly for the ability to kill an ad with a crit shot and have it explode and do AoE damage to other nearby ads. Disruption Break for the ability to break an enemy's shield, then hot swap to your kinetic for some big damage. Then finally, rangefinder, just to really push your maximum range to the limit. So in my opinion, there are a few different God rolls that you should definitely keep an eye out for. First is going to be Subsistence Dragonfly for just unlimited explosions and never having to reload. Next is going to be Dynamic Sway Reduction and Rangefinder for pinpoint accuracy while just, holding down on the trigger with really good range potential. Then finally, Auto Loading and Disruption Break for the ability to break a shield, then switch to a kinetic weapon for big damage and have Death Adder auto load in your back pocket thanks to auto loading holster. Now, you can also mix and match these God rolls I just mentioned and even throw in some different perks that I mentioned above. Death Adder is a clone of Recluse, just not as top tier, but if you are seriously wanting a solid replacement or you just really love the way that Recluse looks, then it's not going to let you down. Now, a few other weapons I would also recommend that don't exactly fit the 900 RPM sub Recluse style, but I think you should still take a look at. Gnawing Hunger with Subsistence and literally any other perk it has available in Column 4 because Gnawing Hunger is busted right now. Last Hope with Feeding Frenzy and Multi-Kill Clip. We all know how much I love my God Roll Last Hope. And finally, the Summoner with Overflow and Rampage. Sadly, I don't have this roll because, I don't play Trials, but if you can get your hands on it either through tokens or some other means, then this gun will be amazing as well. These are really good replacements for Recluse because they can all fill the role that Recluse does, which is being a beast at ad clearing. And there we go. Those are, in my opinion, the best weapons in the game right now that will not be sunset in Season 12 that can potentially fill the roles of Mountaintop and Recluse. Like I said before, there is nothing in the game right now that can truly go toe-to-toe with what these two weapons have to offer. So is it really a 2.0? I would think of it more as like a 0.5, like less than the original version. You know what I'm saying? Also, like I said before, all this is subject to change as we don't know what Beyond Light is going to be bringing to the table in terms of weaponry. But I am hoping that the replacements for some of the most top tier weaponry aren't already in the game and Bungie really brings some heat next season. Now, I need something from you. Yes, you. I need you to let me know in the comments section if you have any of the God rolls I just mentioned, as if you do, then I am extremely jealous as my luck this season has been pure garbage. Also, if you have a roll that you think is godly on any of the weapons that I just mentioned, then throw it in the comments section as well, as you all are always giving me some fire rolls to chase after. With all that being said, if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to hit your boy with a like, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.